Hello and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to Two Cents Toys, and today we're going over the Hasbro Marvel Legends Black Widow movie, Red Guardian. I picked this up at my local Walmart just the same day I picked up Crossbones. I had no intentions on getting this figure, or really any of the MCU characters. I'm kind of done collecting the MCU figures. But, I don't know, something about him, I thought he looked cool. I like David Harbour as an actor, so I was like, I'll go ahead and get him. I don't have a Red Guardian for the shelf anyway. So, I don't know. I just picked him up on impulse, I guess is the best way to say it. Now, I know the first thing that jumped out at me was that awful, awful head sculpt. There's no detail to it at all, but we'll go over that in a minute. So, anyway, let's go over the box first, and then we'll go over the figure. So, Marvel Legends at the top, Black Widow movie logo, Red Guardian himself, the other arm to the bath. Side of the box has some kind of stylized, artwork from the movie. Other side of the box has the same artwork. Top of the box has a Black Widow logo. Bottom of the box is the same legalese that no one cares about. And then the back of the box has the stylized artwork from the movie. Alexei Shostakov, I guess is his name. Super soldier, lived through the Cold War, blah blah blah. Other figures available in the wave, the Build-A-Figure, legalese crap again. So, in going over the box, it's interesting that they would choose to use the David Harbour head sculpt, but on the box artwork that they would use the masked version. Alright, so let's go ahead and get them open, go over articulation, the shield, and all that crap. And just like with Crossbones, I found it interesting. It looks like they went back to their old packaging of having the window attached to the box instead of doing that clamshell thing that they'd been doing, which I don't know why they would do that. I didn't have any problem with the clamshell. In fact, it made folding these up and storing them a lot easier if you wanted to keep them. But, whatever. I don't make these decisions. And what else was in the package? I know normally I don't go over the bath pieces, but again, I love this translucent turquoise that's going on, or teal, or seafoam, whatever you want to call it. This isn't a bath I'm interested in, or wasn't interested in until I saw these in person. And I'm thinking about getting it, but I'm just not interested in the whole wave. I don't know, I'm thinking about turning this into maybe a Juggernaut Colossus or something, just because the arm sculpting's already there, and I wouldn't have to do much to change it. But, I don't know. You let me know. And then we get Red Guardian Shield, of course, which has the same configuration with the shields that we're used to, with the peg for the back and the clip for the forearm. Interestingly enough, the star is not symmetrical. That's fine, but then when you flip it, you see that some of these points, like especially when you hold it like that, you can see the spacing here is not equal to that spacing. So, there you go. You can see that's much closer compared to those, so there is a definite right side to display it, I suppose. And that brings us to Red Guardian himself, and this figure, it's hard to impart what I'm trying to describe without you holding it in your hands, but he feels cheap as crap. Hear that? Like, usually you don't get that. Like, it's usually a more solid plastic, but there's also damage on his shoulder right here, straight out of the box. It's not good. And the bicep swivel here, like the sculpt looks good, but you know what, we'll go over articulation, I'll talk about it further. Up here at the head, we have a dumbbell going up into the head and into the neck, so we don't have that normal disc with a ball. Only allows him to look up that far. He can stare at the ground, he can go side to side, and with the dumbbell, we do get some very nice tilt though. I'll admit that. More of an inquisitive, like, oh, like really? Seriously? Which is about how I feel about this figure right now. Shoulder spins 360 with no problem, but you can see how much it ratchets. It's a little absurd. Comes up to a hair past 90. I don't know if you can hear that, but that kind of lets you know how hollow it is. And then the bicep swivel here. Look at that. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this bicep swivel, but it just does not look good. It just does not look good, but it is there. Double jointed elbows come up to a 90 because the forearm guard crashes into the bicep. Wrist swivel and wrist pivot. He can only crunch forward that far. He can lean back that far. Waist swivel, which again, you can hear how hollow he is. Kicks forward at 90, kicks back a little bit. He has a very tight thigh swivel, which I'm struggling even just to do that. Double jointed knees come up that far. He has a very tight boot swivel. Ankle goes back, forward, and a rocker. I'll admit, the figure looks cool. I do like this costume. I like this look. But he feels so cheaply made, I almost feel insulted buying this figure. I know that Crossbones wasn't much better, I don't know what's going on with Hasbro right now. I mean, they're not exactly like the best quality figures ever. I mean, Mafex and Mezco and SH Figure Arts, all they're better than them, arguably. But holy crap, like there's no excuse for this, none. I mean, unless they were rushing these figures to market or something and to try and make the movie, which the movie's been pushed back anyway. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? It's unsightly, and I got there's no excuse for that. I mean, it doesn't affect the shoulder movement at all, but still, you hear that ratcheting? I don't know what's going on with Hasbro right now. This face looks enough like David Harbour, I guess, but there's no like detail to it. There's no highlights, no lowlights. It's just one color with a beard, and his mouth looks a little off center, like he's like stroking out on this side, I guess. They put a little bit of gray in his hair, but not as much as they should have. So I don't know. The shield basically only pegs on at the wrist. If you try to force it over this forearm guard thing, it's probably gonna break it. I'll be honest with you. And I mean, it goes on his arm well enough. It's big enough for the figure, I think. But I don't know, man. It pegs into the back well enough, but you kind of have to like work with it again because the star is not symmetrical. So you kind of have to work with it to find that sweet spot so it looks right. I wish I had nicer things to say about this figure in the last one. I really do. I don't know what's going on. If you're not interested in Red Guardian or this version or the MCU figures, I would pass. Because we know that eventually Hasbro likes to re-release or redo figures that don't look well, or they only go off kind of like the test shots of the movie. I don't think he's likely to be re-released, but it is possible. Unless you need to build a figure or you absolutely have to have every Marvel Legend figure or MCU figure, I would pass on this one. Honestly, I would take a hard pass on it. And that's really all I got for today. Again, I wish I had nicer things to say about this figure, but I'm kind of angry at the quality that I received on this figure. I really am. So, hashtag first world problems, I suppose. But anyway, if you like these reviews and you want to see more of them, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you think of this figure. Has this review helped you make a decision on whether you were going to buy it or not? Are you excited for the movie? Do you think David Harbour's a good fit for Red Guardian? Do you think it's kind of weird that in Stranger Things Season 3, the Russians are involved and it's hinted that he's in Russia at the end of the series, and now he's the Red Guardian in Russia? I don't know, kind of a weird connection, I think. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Salty. Signing off.